So now we're going to make our slip pockets. So retrieve your slip pocket pieces. That's one exterior and one lining. And we're going to press the short edges under on each end. And I'm also going to glue them so that they stay put. I've already did this once and I forgot to turn on my camera. That was clever, wasn't it? So if it's half sticking, that's why. Because it's been glued once before and I had to unglue it. Now for the final side, I just like to line up my edges and just pop a couple of clips to hold. That way I can make sure that I get everything even. Because eyeballing isn't always accurate. Not for me anyway. So once you've done your gluing, just stick a couple more clips in to hold. Now we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch both straight, long, raw edges. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch with a stitch length of 2.4 and a seam allowance of 1 centimetre or 3/8 of an inch. Same on the other side. Like that. So now that we have stitched our two pocket pieces together, I'm just going to turn that so it's right side out, and now decide whether I'm going to have a lining with a band on top or a brown pocket with a lining band on top. So I'm going to go with the lining coloured pocket with the brown band. You can have it whichever way you choose. Now I'm just pushing that seam allowance up so it's right upwards, and that's what I'm going to use as a guide to pressing. and folding. Same on the other end. Like so. Now we're going to mark the halfway mark of our pocket. Just draw a line. Now we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we're going to top stitch just close to that fold, and then we're going to attach it to our other body lining panel. So now I'm ready to top stitch my band here on my pocket. I've changed my thread to match my pocket. I'm going to use a stitch length of 3.1, which is what I like to use for top stitch, and I'm going to stitch approximately 2 millimeters, 1/16 from the edge, just really close to the edge. Like that. And now we're going to go back over to the work table and pin that to our body lining panel. Okay, so now that we have top stitched along our band on our pocket, we're going to attach it to our body lining. So I'm just going to fold that in half and press a crease down the center, just so I know where I'm lining up my pocket, so I get it in the center. And now I'm going to attach it 7 centimeters, 2 3/4 of an inch down from this edge here. 2 3/4 of an inch. And my center of my pocket is just there. And I'm going to pin into place. And now we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch, we're going to back tack there a few times to fasten it on securely. And then we're going to stitch down here, cross to here to the line, and then we're going to stitch up, right up to the end, take one stitch and come back down, and then finish going around to your pocket, ending up here, and then back tack a few times. That back tacking there just to make your pocket stronger, because that's going to be your stress points. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so now we're going to stitch our pocket into place. I'm going to use a stitch length of 3.1. I'm going to stitch 3 millimeters, 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and I've swapped back to my lining coloured thread, which I'm just going to use on this band here, but if you're fussy you may want to use your band coloured thread there, that's up to you. So I'm going to back tack here a few times. put my number 57 edge foot just because it's easy for me to get the right measurements here. Distance from the edge. Now I'm stitching actually up a little bit before I got to the line, just because that's when my stitch ended up nicely. I've gone pretty close to the top without going over the edge, taking one stitch, and now I'm stitching back down. Across the bottom. And back up the other side. Back tacking here to hold. And there we have our pocket. Woohoo! Now we can put our lining together.